All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Make sure you check out Pig in a Pickle. They've got two locations. They're in Emeryville and in Corte Madera. They're in Emeryville Wednesday through Sunday. They're open in Emeryville 7 days a week in Marin from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. All right, let's talk a little bit about a guy who kind of opened my eyes at rookie minicamp, and that is Jack Coletto, who the 49ers signed after the draft. As an undrafted college free agent. And he's a really interesting player. He's from Washington State, played at Oregon State, 6'3", about 240 pounds, was a redshirt senior this year for the Beavs. And he was the Washington Gatorade Player of the Year as a senior in high school at Camas High School, helping his school win the state title as a dual threat quarterback. And he signed with Arizona Western College to play quarterback in 2017. That was the dream. He wanted to play quarterback, and then transferred to Oregon State to start one of 8 games. Played the following fall, and then he redshirted in 2019. He played in 4 games as a reserve linebacker. He played in all 7 games in the 2020 season, and he contributed in all 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. He was second team All Pac-12 in 2021 as an all-purpose player. He made 7 tackles, 1 for a loss, 1 interception, 31 catches, or 31 runs, I should say, for 144 yards, 4.6 a carry, 8 touchdowns rushing, 1 touchdown receiving. He was an all-purpose selection as a senior as well. And he was rewarded for his all-around game by winning the Paul Hornung Award as the nation's most versatile player. So this is a really interesting player. Now, nobody really expected Jack to get drafted. He was always going to be an undrafted free agent, a priority free agent type. But I like him for a lot of reasons. I mean, he's definitely got a lot of fight to him. This guy really competes, and you can see that. Now, he doesn't have – he's not the biggest lead blocker you've ever seen. He doesn't really have the burst that you're looking for to play linebacker in the NFL, but he's versatile, and he's got toughness. He loves to play the game. He's got a special teams personality, and he's multifaceted. I mean, you can direct snap to him. He can be a short yardage quarterback. I didn't think he would get drafted, but he definitely is going to be in the Niner camp this summer with a real chance to make the roster. Now, he's an interesting guy. He's kind of got thick lower body, thick calves, and he's played a lot of football. He's played fullback. He's played linebacker. There's a toughness to his game. He's not afraid of contact. He'll take. He is not afraid to run into you as a linebacker. He's not afraid to run into you as a fullback. The guy can run. He can block. He can catch the ball to the backfield. He can throw the ball in a halfback option or a fullback option play. The versatility is really his game, right? He offers tremendous roster flexibility, and he's got great value on special teams. Now, he doesn't have ideal strength and speed. He doesn't have incredible length as an athlete. He's really not an NFL caliber defender, in my opinion. To me, he's an offensive player in the NFL. He's an offensive player or a special team player. He's not going to play linebacker. If you put him at inside linebacker, they would expose his lack of speed by isolating him on a really fast running back or wide receiver or tight end, and just kind of exploiting his lack of foot speed. But but you definitely see that contact, that desire for contact as a lead blocker. I love this kid as a lead blocker, and I just love all the things you can potentially do with him. In a short, the Niners love the direct snap to the quarterback and kind of a wildcat look and short yardage. They've done that with Juice, with Kyle Juszczyk, and they can do that with Coletto. So I really think this is an interesting player on a lot of fronts. I think this guy, he's incredibly competitive. He's got that team first mentality, and he's tougher than a $2 steak. I mean, this guy's tough. Now, does he have a position? I don't know. I would say he's a fullback, but he's not quite the athlete of Juice. So he's, roughly 6'3", 240. But there's a lot of things to like about him. I mean, he's definitely a fun player to watch. he's a utility player. That's what he is. He's a utility player. He's a fullback, and he's like an emergency quarterback. And his nickname is Jackhammer, due to his physical downhill style of play. And, he really badly wanted to play quarterback. He came to Corvallis as a quarterback and then took snaps at inside backer. And then he went on special teams, eventually moved to fullback. And over time, he became a multi-purpose weapon for the Beavers. And he's like that Swiss Army knife guy. And he can just impact the game in a lot of ways. I love this kid for a lot of reasons. His motor is off the charts. This guy loves to play the game. He would play for free. He's got a great motor. He's a team first guy. There's no question about that. He can play multiple roles. He can alternate wearing different hats, and his toughness and his competitiveness plays. So, and you can see that on film. This guy's tough. This guy will fight for every yard. He'll compete. He'll play punt coverage on the special teams units. He'll play kick coverage. He's physical as a tackler. When he's a lead blocker, I mean, he's bringing all the effort he can in the run game. He creates space in that for running backs. I really like his ability to not just find an athlete in the open space, but, to find that athlete and to hit him and to block him. So, he shows a little bit more athleticism, I think, playing on offense than he does on defense. But he's a football player. I would say if you say, what is he? I'd say he's a fullback. He's a fullback. He's not a quarterback. He's just not an every down quarterback. But he definitely throws the ball well. And, after watching the 49ers season end in Philly the way it did, I think they would probably love to have a guy like this who could be, activated on game day and maybe be used as an emergency quarterback. So he's a gadget player for sure. But if you can figure out how to use him, if you can envision how to take advantage of his value, this could be a very, very important player for a number of NFL teams. You got to have a plan. I asked him about comparing himself to Taysom Hill. I don't think he's quite the athlete as far as a mover that Taysom Hill is, but as far as that kind of offers value in multiple phases, and he can play quarterback, and he can take direct snaps, and he can make a few pass plays. I mean, there's definitely packages that you could use Jack Coletto for. I love him as a red zone wildcat quarterback. I think that could be an excellent spot. You get down on the goal line and you've got, you want to have him in there at quarterback and maybe fake a handoff, or have him there at quarterback and direct snap it, and boom, he's into the end zone. He's definitely, I don't know that he's great at any one position, but he's the jack of all trades. And I think he could be a very valuable special team player, if nothing else. I mean, if you could bottle up this guy's toughness and his competitive fire and his his unselfishness as a teammate, you could sell it, because he's that kind of a player. He's the kind of a player that you want on your football team. I think this is the kind of guy that helps you win games. And Kyle Juszczyk is 33. The 49ers now have Jack Coletto and Braden Willis. Willis looks a lot like a fullback as a receiver, body type wise, and Coletto looks a lot like a fullback as well. And this might be the first time that I can remember the 49ers having anybody even in camp that I thought potentially could take Juszczyk's job. Now, I don't expect Juszczyk to not be on the team this year, but it wouldn't surprise me if a guy like Coletto or Willis was brought along either on the practice squad or on the 53-man roster, and maybe a year from now they could evolve with a little bit more athleticism and a little bit more training, a little bit more work on their body. I could see one of those guys being the replacement for Juice in a year. Juice is 33; he's not going to play forever, and you got two guys here who both can play fullback. Willis is a receiver. Coletto can do a number of things that we've already outlined. So watch for Jack Coletto. Watch for Jack Coletto this summer in training camp. he might be the answer to, what do you do on game day if you're looking for that extra quarterback, but you don't want to waste a roster spot on just somebody that can only play quarterback. Maybe a guy like Coletto could be that guy who could be the backup linebacker, backup fullback, special team contributor, and maybe a wildcat quarterback who can fill in a pinch. So look for him this summer. He's going to stand out because he loves to play and he's very, very physical. But if you're down in Santa Clara this summer, watch for Jack Coletto. And if you tune into the Niners in the preseason, look at how many different ways that the Niners attempt to utilize Jack Hammer, as they call him, Jack Coletto. All right, hope you enjoyed the 49er video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being a proud sponsor of the Krueg Show. And thanks to all of you for supporting the Krueg Show on YouTube.